swiftly on.
Hello, welcome back to another tutorial, and today we've got another request for a drawing video. So this request is for how to draw a tiger. So I've broken this up into two different ways of drawing a tiger. We've got the first way, which is going to be a slightly more cartoony way and hopefully a slightly easier way of drawing a tiger. And then our second way is just looking at the head more specifically and trying to be a little bit more realistic with it. So if you want to learn how to draw a tiger, stick around. Let's get crafting. Let's have a go at drawing our first tiger. So the first one is going to be a slightly more cartoony and hopefully simpler tiger, and you guessed it, we're starting with a circle because this is going to be our head, which is why I'm always saying make sure you practice drawing circles, because it's one of the most important shapes in your drawing. So obviously make this as big as you want your tiger's head to be. So if you want to do a really big one, go for it. I've just got a small piece of paper, so that's what I'm going for. So we start with our head shape, and the first thing I'm wanting to put on is what you probably call the muzzle, so the front of their mouth where the nose goes. So we're just going to draw an oval, or an egg shape you might call it, just at the bottom of the circle that we've drawn for the head, just like that. And that's going to be the front of their head. So then we're going to go in and put a nose in. So here we're going to draw basically a triangle like that, apart from we're going to turn it into a nose by making all the sharp corners into curves. Again, we do a lot of that in these tutorials. And then we'll put our mouth in. So our mouth starts from the bottom of the nose and we go straight down, and then we just curve like that. And the same on the other side. And that's going to be our mouth. Now we need to put some eyes on. So our eyes, we're going to put obviously two. You can kind of do the eyes however you like. I'm doing quite cartoony eyes, so I'm going to do two sort of oval egg shapes. And inside of that I'm going to then do another little oval, like so. There are going to be my eyes. And then we're going to go in and look at the ears. So our ears are going to be roughly a triangle shape. So you could draw a triangle first, really lightly, just to show where they're going to be. Now it's going to look like a cat when you first do this. So you're going to put them in roughly the right place. And now we're going to make the ears look a bit more tiger ear-like, if that's a saying. So from the top of the head, we're going to curve into the ear. So we're going to turn that into a curve, and then we're going up to the top, and we're not going to follow the point. We're going to again curve, and then we're going to go out a bit further, and then we're just going to miss out that line and curve back like that. So we go into it until we get to the top of the triangle, and then we curve, go across, and then follow down back to the head. And then when you reach the head, it's going to go back into the side of the head. And I'm just going to do the same on the other side. So we curve into it, following the head, curve into it until we get to the top of the triangle. And we're going to go straight across like that, and then go across for a little bit, and then curve down into the face like that. One of mine, you'll notice, is a lot bigger than the other one, which I didn't mean to do, but that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to go back in and change that line. Went a little bit too far there, went a bit crazy. And that's probably a bit better. Yeah, pretty happy with that. And now we're going to look at the next step. So next step is we're going to do around the outside of the face. So on these sides, when we get to here, we're not going to follow this line we've done here. I'm just making it more obvious where mine actually is. But we're not going to follow that exactly because it makes it look like a bear. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it a bit sort of hairy on the side. So we're going to do almost basically like this sort of shape, a bit like a triangle, but we curve the bottom line and the top line. So we're curving, and we're going to do that down the sides here. And we're going to do it all the way down the side, down both sides, until we get to the bottom, like that. Just to make it look like it's a bit furrier. We also need to, which I forgot to do, is on the inside of the ears we just draw another little extra bit like that. So we just follow the ear, but on the inside as opposed to the outside. And our next step is going to be to just change the bottom of here, because this isn't meant to be like that. So where we've done our curve, we're going to do very similar to what we've just done here, but on the bottom of here. So we're going to follow this line, but we're going to make it look sort of spiky and hairy by doing that. So you're just drawing little spikes basically. So across the bottom you're basically just doing this. Nice and easy until you get to the top, like so. I'm liking that, it's looking pretty good so far. And our next step's going to be to put our patterns on, because again, tigers have sort of stripes and patterns all over them, and these are what kind of make it look a bit more like a tiger if I'm honest. So between the eyes, basically what you want to do is you're going to make some little V shapes like that up to the top of the head. So you want probably about 3. And they're not going to stay like that, but that's how we're going to start them. And all you're going to do is they're just going to be made into like splodges, like that. Now these don't have to be perfect, because if you look at a tiger, all the patterns on it, they're not perfect at all. They're actually quite random. So just go for it and kind of have a bit of fun with it. So we're going to do those two, and I'm going to do one little one between the eyes like that, and a little splodge going up to it. I'm also going to make mine a bit angry, so I'm just going to draw a little line over the top. I want mine to be a bit of a grumpy tiger, make him look a bit scarier. And then on the sides, what we're going to do is similar to what we've just done here, apart from we're going to start here, so just next to the eye, and we're going to go like that. So follow the eye round, and then follow the sort of muzzle that we've done round, and again we're just going to make it into a bit of a thicker splodge, and then we're going to do the same slightly further out, and just add a little bit there. And these bits, I mean, you don't have to do them exactly like me. Your patterns can be, you know, however you want to do it. You could have a look at a picture of a tiger and see if you can copy a little bit better, because I'm kind of doing this a bit randomly. I'm not copying a specific picture of a tiger, I'm just kind of making it up as I go along, to be honest. So we're going to do that, and a little bit on the bottom, and I think we kind of need a little bit there, and we're going to add one above the eyebrow like that, almost like an eyebrow. I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously we'd have some whiskers as well. Your whiskers are just going to come out. I normally do 3. Just coming out of where the mouth is. Now we're going to have a look at doing a body. Again, this is going to be quite a cartoony body. And our next one, we're going to look at being a bit more detailed and doing a bit more of a real life one. So for our body, we're just going to draw basically an egg shape, so an oval like that. That's going to be our body. And this is similar to our cat video, if you've done the cat video. And then we're going to do 2 front paws. So from about halfway down the body, we're going to go down till we get to here, and we're just going to round it off like that. And we're going to do the same on the other side. And then we're going to have 2 paws sticking out at the back, like that, because he's going to be sat down. And I'm going to draw some paws on it, like so. Just go over my lines, and on the bottom of these paws I'm going to do the same. Just going to draw 3 basically little lines going up to sort of signify or to show that we've got some paws. I'm going to do some little spikes on the end for some cartoony claws. And then we're going to do a tail. Easy, tail's going to start, we can go either side, and we're just going to draw a curved line going up. You could do whatever you want with this tail, and then you're going to follow it with another line, and at the end you can make it fluffy, or you can do whatever you like with that. And we're just going to do the patterns on it now. So you need a bit of a splodge on the chest, because they always have a bit of a different colour on the chest, or most of the time they do, most animals do, to be fair. And then I'm going to, again, you see how I've done on the side of the head that we did, I'm going to do that all the way down the side of the body. We're going to draw our little spikes just to make it look a little bit furrier and less like a cat, really, to be honest. Like, we don't want it to just be like a house cat. So all the way down. Again, take your time. I try and do it a little bit faster so that the video isn't so long. And then we're going to draw some little patterns on it. These can just be completely random, because as I say, you'll never see 2 tigers that are exactly the same. They'll all look ever so slightly different because their patterns are all random. Which is very cool, actually. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's probably us finished with the pencil. Oh, forgotten to do the tail. Draw some quick patterns on the tail. Like that. And I'm going to quickly go over this with a black pen and we'll see what we've got. And there we go. It's time for me to go in with a little bit of colour, and let's have a look at what it looks like at the end. Okay, so that's the first tiger finished. I've gone over it with a black felt tip, a very fine black felt tip, and I've also coloured it in and added some random sort of bushes in the background just to make it look a little bit nicer. Hopefully you've enjoyed having a go at drawing this slightly more cartoony tiger, and I'd absolutely love to see your drawings. Okay, so we're on to our second tiger. We're going to try and do a slightly more realistic tiger, and we're just going to have a look at the face. Once again, as with the other one, we're going to start with a circle, because this is going to be our head. I'm going to try and do this one slightly bigger than I did the other one, so that I can make it a bit more detailed. So that's our starting point, and that is how big my head is going to be. Right, so the way we do this is going to be very different to the first one. So what we're going to do first is we're going to split the circle in just about half. So we're going to find half and go a little bit higher than half and draw a line across. Very, very lightly, because we're going to rub this out. And then we're going to split it in half the other way as well. This is going to be exactly in half. This is going to help show us where we're going to put all the features. So once you've done that, first thing we're going to put in is the eyes. So this eye is going to be about there, and this one's going to be about there. I'm just going to mark them very small, and then I'm going to draw a circle on either side just to show where I'm going to have my eyes. Pretty happy with those. They should be quite small compared to the head, because if you ever look at a tiger, its eyes are really small compared to the rest of its head. And then we are going to draw from here, we're going to go over the eye. So we're not actually starting on the circle, we're starting on the line, we're going over the eye, and then as we're about to go past it, we're going to just curve up like that. We're going to curve up, almost giving it a sort of eyebrow. We're going to do the same on the other side, or as close to the same on the other side. Like I say, no tiger is ever going to be completely symmetrical in the wild, so don't worry about your picture being completely symmetrical, just get it as close as you can. So an eyebrow on both, and then underneath we're going to do a similar thing. So we're going to go to the bottom of the eye, but we're just going to join up like that. To the bottom of the eye and join up like that. And that is going to be our two eyes. So the next feature we're going to put on is going to be the nose. So the nose is going to be sort of roughly about halfway between the eyes and the bottom of the head. So I'm going to find roughly halfway, probably a little bit further than halfway actually, about there. And I'm just going to draw a line across. So that's going to be the top of my nose. So for my nose, I'm just going to draw, to start with, I'm just going to draw a triangle. Fairly big. And then I'm going to turn it into my nose. And the way you do that is on each side, you draw a little line coming down, like that. And then you just curve to the bottom. So just doing a curve to the bottom. And then you have a little bit at the bottom like that, and do the same on the other side. To be honest, it basically looks like you're drawing a pair of pants, actually, now we'll look at it. So, you heard it here first, a tiger's nose looks like a pair of pants. So, do that, and then you might put a couple of nostrils in there. Pretty happy with that, I reckon. Yep. So that's going to be our nose. So coming out the bottom of our nose is going to be a similar thing to what we've done on our other tutorial. So we're just going to go down and across like that, doing a curve down and across, doing a curve like that. And this is where we need to link the eyes coming down into here, because this is how you make the muzzle, because normally the front of a tiger, I need to check if it's actually called a muzzle, but I'm going to call it a muzzle, where it goes into the nose, and it's from the side it would look like that. So from the front we have to make it look like that. So what we do is we go to the corner of our eye, and all we're going to do is we're just going to go down. We're not going to go towards the nose, we're going to go past the nose and then join it into that part that we've already done, like that. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side, down, past the nose and join it up to the line we've already done. Try and, like I say, try and make the sides as symmetrical as you can. It's really hard to do, I do know that, but it's worth trying to, because it'll make it look a little bit better at the end. I didn't get that one quite right, so I'm going to go again. That's kind of why we've done these lines. The lines are sort of to help you, so you can kind of work out roughly by looking at it whether or not it looks right. I am pretty happy with that, so I'm going to stick with it like that. Like I say, now would be a good time to pause it and try and make sure you've kind of got to this point. So moving on, our next bit we're going to do is just underneath the mouth. and this is similar to our first tutorial. So we're going to firstly draw a semicircle like that. So we're not going right to the edge, we're starting in a little bit and drawing a semicircle like that, and then we're going to turn it into fur. So we're going to do our little spiky bits like we did on our first tutorial, like that, to make it look a bit furry. Perfect. And that is that little area kind of finished for now. You could add a couple of teeth like that if you want it to look a little bit scarier, but it's completely up to you. And then we are now going to move up the head, and we're going to look at the ears. So the ears on this are a lot trickier than what we did on the other tutorial. So we are going to start again with triangles though. So the ears, they don't want to be on the top of the head, they don't want to be right on the side of the head, they need to be in the middle. So you could follow this line to here as if you were splitting it into an eighth. If you don't know what an eighth is, don't worry, just look about there. So about 2 o'clock, if it was a clock. You're just going to draw a triangle to start with like that on both sides, trying to make sure they're in roughly the same place and roughly the same size. Pretty happy with that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to follow the curve of the head, curve into the triangle like that, and then we're going to go to the top where our pointy part is of a triangle. Apart from we're not going to make it pointy, we're going to curve it like that, and we're not going to follow this line down. What we're going to do is we're going to come out to about here. So we're going to go up, curve it out to about there, then we're going to go back to the original bottom part of our triangle like that. So we're going up to the top, curving it, start heading down but not along this line, and then eventually we meet up back with that line again, and then we're back into the head. And then we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. Now here I might maybe do some fluffy parts as well. And we're going to curve up to the top, and then again curve it and go out a little bit, and then done this one slightly different, out a little bit, and then curve it in like that. And I want it to be roughly the same sort of size and shape. Not to be perfect, but roughly the same sort of size and shape. And then as we come down the side of the head, we're going to follow this line, but we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make it spiky like we did before, so furry, but we're drawing spikes to hint at the fur. And that wants to come down just below this part that we've already done. Do the same on both sides. And roughly meet up in the middle. I know what you're thinking, it does look a little bit like a wolf at the moment, but by the time we're finished it won't, or even a bear, but we'll soon sort that out. So what we also missed on the nose here, which I've just realised we didn't put in, was we do 2 little lines going up, little curved lines like that, just to show it's trying to give it that 3D look, that bit of depth, because the nose should look like that from the side. So we're doing lines to show that piece there. Let's get rid of that. Right, done our ears. Again, we do the same thing on the ears as we done on our other one, which is where we just draw another line on the inside, following the ear, like so. And then we're going to start to look at the patterns that we need to do. So the first pattern we're going to go for is going to be above the eye, and this is going to be essentially like an eyebrow. So we're going to draw a V, and we're just going to make it thicker like that. Same on both sides. Again, like I said in the other video, these don't need to be perfect, because you'll never see 2 tigers that look exactly the same, and you'll never see a tiger that's completely perfectly symmetrical. And from this line here, so we follow this line here, and we're going to draw, again like in the other video, basically these going across until we get right to the top, and then these V's go a lot wider, and then we're just going to again make them fatter and make them like splodges. So these are sort of splodges of colour on their fur, like that. And then we're going to go down the side, so we're going to, from here, underneath the eye, we're just going to draw a line like this, and the same on the other side. It should go like that, and then we're going to start to look at the patterns on this side. So we're going to do sort of random shape there. These don't have to be anything particular, you can copy these. The only thing that's important is that they go around in that circular shape. And then we're going to do another one around the outside, like that. And do a couple up here as well, so we're going to follow the eyebrow and then go around that, and possibly do a couple more little ones around the outside. And that is generally our tiger finished, I think. We just need to go over it in black pen. Oh, before we do that, the eyes. Now, we do the eyes in a different way. So that's our eye in the middle, and on a cat's eye, what we do is this. We draw it like that, instead of our normal eye, where we just do a circle in the middle. So we do it like that. And it makes it look so much more like a cat, or a tiger in this case. And I'm just going to hint at where the neck might be, like so. Pretty happy with that, and we're going to go over it with a black felt tip so that we can see it better. Okay, so that's the black outline done, and I also added the whiskers because I realised that we haven't put those on there, and I've got to say I'm really happy with this, because before today I can't say I've ever tried to draw a tiger, so I've had a practice and worked out how to do it for you. So yeah, hopefully you've learned something as well as me. I've definitely learned something today, so I'm really excited about that. I'm going to quickly go over it with some colour just so you can see what it would look like in colour, and I'll get back to you. And there we have our finished tiger's head, and I have to say I am really happy with how this has turned out. I really didn't think it would turn out quite as good as it has, so if you've had a go at this, I'd absolutely love to see your efforts. Okay, so hopefully you've enjoyed having a go at drawing our tiger. So whether or not it's the tiger's head, the slightly more realistic and probably a bit harder tutorial, or you've had a go at doing the slightly more cartoony and a little bit easier, or you might even have done both of them. Either way, if you've had a go, I'd love to see them, because as I say, it's my favourite part is seeing your guys' drawings, which are normally better than mine anyway. So if you have had a go, feel free to ask your parents to send me a picture of it on either Dojo, or they could email me. There's an email address at the bottom. As always, if you've got any requests, any ideas for tutorials, again, please feel free to ask your parents to send them to me, and I'll see if I can get around to doing them. So until next time, keep on crafting.